Hey babes, remember when I asked you via text before the trip what you wanted to do? I asked on the way to the location what you wanted to do, and it was like, I don't know, whatever's fine. You better not the fuck. I don't want to hear a fucking peep out of you while we're doing the activities.
Thanks for your concern. Welcome back to Thanks for Your Concern. You're here with Berenice.
And I'm Ella. Welcome back. I have my matcha. I'm like ready.
You're ready for the day. I woke up super late. I have this bad habit right now of waking up way too late and then being like angry at myself for the first hour of the day. Being like, I should have woken up earlier. But we're dealing with it.
Okay, forgive yourself. Move on. You know, start your day over.
Oh, yeah. I just have like a really bad habit of going to sleep really late. So I just
Mhm.
know I'm in this cycle where I'm like, someone free me. But we're good. How are you?
Fan fucking tastic, baby. I feel like my life this month, because it's August is gonna be a crazy month. You know, I think about that meme from Lady Gaga. Bus, another club, another plane. I'm taking 8 planes in August.
Oh, you're busy, busy.
I'm busy
Where are
for
we
work.
going? Okay, just
I'm
for work?
no, so I'm doing New York, Austin,
Ooh.
London, Amsterdam.
Woo!
Jet setting. I'm
That's cool.
excited.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm actually really I haven't done this much traveling in like ever in my life. So like it's my moment.
I love that. I know. I'm so excited you're coming. We're going to see each other on Saturday. How fun.
How exciting.
I know. You haven't been here in a minute.
Oh my god, I know. Well, it's cuz the last time I went, were you on the you weren't on the plane with us. Who was on the plane with us? I don't even remember. Maybe it was just me. But I swear you were on the plane with us. But no.
The first time,
The
yes, because
first
we
time.
came together. Yeah.
So the first time, I don't know if we tell the story enough, but literally, I try to go to sleep on this red eye, and I wake up, and it's an announcement being like, "Hey, if anyone was injured in the incident in the front of the plane, please." Like come like please let us know because the police are here to take your statements. And I literally like obviously like I was like, whoa, what's going on? And somebody
Yeah.
just had a little bit too much wine, got a little
Frisky.
feisty. I had to get dragged off the plane by the police. But after that, I was like, oh my god, that was the worst red eye experience. So now this time I'm not doing a red eye. I'm doing like an early morning flight, and I'm just gonna work on the flight.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like not the worst flight because it's like 6 hours, which, like, no, it's not. It's like five. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
exaggerating.
yeah, 5 hours is cool. It's just honestly, red light flights, if you actually can't sleep, are not the best option. And in Seattle, and like the Seattle to New York flight, it's either this like in the morning or a red eye, but you can't really get sleep. And then you also have to adjust to the time difference. And I was like, oh, that's really tough on your body when you can't afford to stay in New York for more than like 3 days.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm team red eye. I just do it to myself every time. I don't love it, but you lose a day. You know,
Yeah.
no one's got time for that. Like usually if you have like a normal work schedule, you could either like take off the day and be on an uncomfy airplane, or you can take up the day and like come home and sleep and like, just get ready for the next day. So I usually choose to do that because I'm like, that just seems like also, when you get to New York a little later and it's like the middle of the day and then everything's going on at once. I've been here too long. I usually am a escape artist. I like try to leave New York at least like once a quarter. And I think this is the longest stretch I've been in New York since I moved here and I am starting to feel it. It's getting woo! But next month we got some trips coming up. But yes, very excited you're coming. Got some I like immediately I see things and I'm like, RSVP to this. We're gonna do this. Right?
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All good vibes.
All good vibes. But should we get into our topic of the day?
Fun topic of the day. I'm excited for the
Yeah.
hee hee ha ha's. Let's do
Mhm.
it. Okay, so this topic today, we're doing never again. And I was just thinking, guys, I'm dramatic, but there are certain things that I literally, every time I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna do that again.
Yeah. No, I get that. I love to try things. I'll give them a few tries actually. I'm like
Yes.
optimistic, but there are some things that I'm like, all right, like I think I've learned enough. I've had enough life experience to be like, maybe that one's worth leaving behind.
Yes, 100%. Okay, so the thing I was thinking about, I really love financial TikToks, but people getting out of credit card debt stresses me out. And I am just saying, never again will I ever spend money on a credit card that I don't actually have. I will never max out a credit card again.
I will say I am not on that side of TikTok. I think that would also stress me out.
I'm like, oh my God, poor girl. But people, at least they're like getting TikTok's helping them get out of debt. So I feel like good about it. But holy shit, when people have consumer debt, it's just so hard. Like, it's such a hard system to get out of because with interest, you have to make these huge payments once you get a certain amount of debt. And honestly, it's just crazy because if like my credit card limit, if I got in that much debt, like it would be fucking nuts. Like it would be impossible for me to get out of. And I was like, why can I even get into this much debt? Hypothetically, that's crazy. But coming from a girly who maxed out a credit card on a Euro summer, never again, baby. I learned my lesson.
That wasn't necessarily your entire fault, though.
No, but
That was a communal
I could have had better
L.
boundaries. I also could have planned. There's a couple of things, but I definitely will never do that again.
Never put a trip on a credit card.
That you don't have money for. Now I get the point. So now I'll be like bam, bam, bam. But I pay it off every time.
Yeah, credit cards are tricky, and I think that's what most people don't. I guess you see a lot of like New York TikTok and people like going out and doing a lot of things. A lot of those people are just putting that on credit.
Which I think is really interesting. And I didn't realize that, but I just kind of had to put two and two together because I was like, how are people actually it came to fruition when people were going on spring break trips and I felt kind of like left out FOMO that I never went on a spring break trip while in college. And then people were like, oh, I put it on my credit card or I took out a loan to go. And I was like, ooh, I do not think Cabo is worth consumer debt, but to each their own.
No, we were putting like groceries on our credit card.
Oh, and babes, honestly, it really sucks that we're like borrowing from Peter to pay Piper. I don't know what the fuck the term is, but yeah, there was a time when I was putting by Winco. No, Winco doesn't take credit cards, so we would have to like go to a different grocery store because like certain grocery stores did take credit cards. Like how sad. But we made it out. But the other thing is I put textbooks.
Yeah.
I had to put that on the credit card at some point. How sad.
Yeah, there's like some instances where some things were a little bit ridiculous. But we didn't do the trips. And I'm glad we didn't do the trips because there's some people that did the trips that I was like, are you stressed out while you're on the trip about this? Or do you not think about, does this not keep you up on your trip that it's like, how am I gonna pay this back? I don't know.
Thoughts and prayers to everyone, including myself, who have to start paying those loans back because, you know, Daddy Biden didn't get it done. But I'm still really thankful that I have like the minimum amount of loans that it's very payable in my tax bracket.
I've always been good at advocating for when I can't financially do something. And I think I had a tip with like a friend who wanted to do like their wedding in another country and then like a bachelorette in another city. And I was like, I'm just going to be very like, candid here. There's just no way. Like I can't afford that. And I think that I still made some stretches to try to make it work, but I don't think I'd do it again. And I think this time around there was another wedding that I'm sad I missed, but in retrospect I was like, I can't extend myself to do this thing right now. Doesn't mean I don't love you. I really wish I would have been there. I love weddings. I love to cry. So I see love and I'm like but it's just not something like I'm down to do again.
I felt an immense amount of guilt about not going to a wedding this year, and I just literally, like, I sat down and I just, like, tried to budget, like, as much as I could, and I was like, "I sure I could make this work, but, like, I would have to." There was just, like, the things that were gonna go on, and then with, like, PTO and stuff like that, and I was just like, "Gosh darn it, like, this is just not gonna work." But guess what? I definitely remembered that person on the day and texted them, and I texted them, before I said, like, "Hey, no," to the RSVP. I was like, "Hey, like, really love you, like, this isn't a representation of how much I wanna be there," and they were totally fine. They, like, got it. Like, people everyone has 2 weeks of PTO and has to, like, make it work. I would say never again would I feel guilty for having to say no if it really just I can't make it work. I'm not in I hope one day where I'll have a day where money's not the object and then I'm feel like an asshole for saying no.
Or another, yeah. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, in general, the never against is not speaking up when I'm like uncomfortable. I feel like
Mhm.
I kind of grew up saying yes to a lot of things that maybe I wasn't so down for, just for the sake of the group or, to keep up appearances. And now I grew out of that. Thank God the people pleaser in me really died. Once you stop people pleasing, you're like, wow, I'm free.
You'd be surprised how much of it's like a burden you put on yourself. You say it's for other people, but it seems like the only person who's getting the brunt of the negative effects of this is you, by saying yes all the time. And then you're pissed off and mad at for me, it's like I'm mad at my family because I'm fucking like, oh, you guys again, instead of just being like,
Yeah,
hey,
you start projecting your energy outward,
yeah,
start like being resentful for people that like made you things you didn't want to do, but you didn't like communicate you didn't want
right.
to do them. Yeah. Any sort of boundaries that you're, I guess, like crossing that you haven't communicated, you're crossing your own boundaries. So there's really like no one to be mad at but yourself.
Exactly, and then you're mad at other people, but it's not actually their fault, it's your fault. I had to take a long look in the mirror, like, never again am I gonna blame other people for, like, me
Yeah.
not speaking up or me not communicating.
Yeah. I learned that as I grew older where I was like I had a lot of like well, not really. I was not the most angsty person, but I
Yeah.
see other people carrying that where it's like, yeah, people are crossing these imaginary boundaries you have never told them not to or exercise.
And I've said this, I'm like, "Dude, you might be surprised who's, like, better at respecting boundaries than you would expect." It's like someone who I was like, "Oh my god, they're fucking terrible with boundaries, da 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 da," and I was like, "Damn, I just was not setting boundaries, communicating in a way that was clicking to them." It's not
Yeah.
that they, like, were trying to overstep boundaries, it was more like I wasn't being clear enough.
Yeah, I get that. With the not speaking up, and I think this one was like, whose peace kind of are you keeping by not speaking up? And you're usually
Mm,
keeping like other people's peace. I like my own. So we're doing that more. I think that whenever I have practiced like a tough boundary and I can see other people who probably do things out of people pleasing come off and like, tell me I'm like difficult, I will take that over being upset at myself for not like standing up for myself.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna be difficult.
I take things with a grain of salt because it's like, how difficult am I really being? Or like, is this like a you or me problem? Because me just saying, hey, this situation makes me uncomfortable, or like, I don't feel like doing this, and be like, oh, she's so difficult. I think when people are difficult and when they're not trying to find a solution. So, like, I don't know if you've seen Victoria Paris. She like kind of was talking about like how people are bad on group trips and they're just not team players.
Yeah,
Never again am I gonna would I allow that shit because I hate when someone doesn't say shit, doesn't have an opinion on shit, and then wants to talk shit about what the plan is. It's like, hey babes, remember when I asked you via text before the trip what you wanted to do? I asked on the way to the location what you wanted to do, and it was like, I don't know, whatever's fine. You better not the fuck. I don't want to hear a fucking peep out of you while we're doing the activities.
yeah. No, for real. I think in general, there's so many ways that you can be a bad team player in a group trip. I've been in some circumstances where I think there's a lot of foreshadowing that happens on group trips of how like
Mm.
someone's is this a friend? Because any sort of like team activity takes a lot of consideration from for others, whether it's like financial, whether it's like enjoyment, anything. Like I never assume that people want to do the same things I want to do.
Mhm.
Anytime I'm in a group situation, I'm like, this would be really exciting. Does anyone want to do this with me? If not, totally cool. I may do this activity by myself
Yeah.
just because there's like, and I usually tell like how much money is involved in this activity. It's just you just never know, and I feel like everybody should have choice. You can still be in a team, but like doing your own thing here and there. Hey, I don't want to charge like an extra cleaning charge, or I don't want like to look bad because your Airbnb profile, bro.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as Ubers. What your Uber rating is tells me a lot about you. Anyways, back to this Airbnb story. And we had also, it was like a resort place, so we had all put who we were in this Airbnb, so it was linked to our Airbnb accounts. So I had wanted nothing to do with a bad review, right? So then
Yeah.
I go now go up to the person that rented it, and I'm like, "So what's the plan here?" It turns out not a lot of people are leaders. All right, a lot of people just like one in and one out. So they really had no plan, and I'm like, "All right, well, like I guess now this is up to like the three people left to solve." And after that trip, I realized, do I really want to be friends with a lot of these people? Probably not. But that's also how I got my roommate. Okay? My roommate said, I saw myself living with you just based on how you like carried yourself in that trip. So it was like you were the only person thinking that.
Yo, like it's vacation, but we still live in a society.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. People sometimes lose themselves, and I'm like, babes, this is like this isn't the city you live in, but this is still like a city.
Yeah.
Like they lose all decorum sometimes. I'm like, baby, well, this isn't fucking the purge. What's going on?
And what does your house look like? There's no way your house is like clean if you don't normally clean up after yourself. If you don't feel like, if you feel entitled not to. Anyways, never again.
Very
Group
good.
trips with some people.
I'm so for solo travel, and I haven't yet done an international trip solo, but like I'm really trying to work on it because
Hmm.
Tracy Ellis Ross, she has this whole new documentary series about being like single and powerful and childless and because she says there's like little representation of that and a lot of it is about like solo travel and I'm like you know what, yeah, I need to dig into that because never again will I feel some type of way about being childless
Yeah.
at my big old age. It's kind of scary sometimes.
There was a TikTok. This girl was like, dating in LA is so much different than dating in New York. She's like, I'm 33. I went on a date. This guy asked me, have I been divorced and do I have kids? And she was like, I'm just a baby. And that's honestly like what it feels like here. It's like never, man.
Hmm.
Like you really don't have to grow up here. But I was like, yeah, I can't think of going back somewhere and then being like, you're getting old. What's the plan?
Right
What do you
now
mean?
it's like the oldest or the age for a new mom is getting older and older and older and in like
Mhm.
San Francisco the average age for the first mom is like 39 and a half and I'm like oh my god, that is liberating to feel like I have time because sometimes it's like TikTok TikTok TikTok, never again do I think I'm gonna run out of time.
I just don't know how people afford it at such a young age. Like I didn't see a lot of children around my friend groups that were like supported by other people, I guess, or the people that did get married right out of college and had kids were in smaller towns, which I get it. Like that's kind of maybe more affordable. But you live in a city, there's no way.
I know. What are you gonna do? I think about that sometimes where I'm like, obviously, like no shame in the game, but it just seems so weird that you can't live in a house with a yard in Seattle for less than like $800,000, and the mortgage payment on that is like $5,000 a month. It's like, dog, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And that's why I don't even want to get a dog here. I want a dog so bad, but I feel so bad for animals in New York because the streets are so disgusting.
I'm so thankful that I got a dog because it makes me feel a lot less guilty about waiting to have a kid because I'm like, when the fuck do I have time for
The
a whole
dog.
fucking human being? The fucking dog. No, I just the dog has taught me what it is like to keep another living thing alive and how much dedication it is. There's no time like with all this traveling that I'm doing. I'm flying. My boyfriend is here and he's gonna stay with my dog while I'm in New York. And then when I'm like I have a good support system for the dog.
Yeah, you really have to figure shit out.
Yeah, you got it. Cause it's like either I have to dog never again, but like, dude, building a community babes, I'm on it so that I don't have to pay $500 a fucking night or whatever to dog sit my dog. Like, thank God I have people I can make English muffins for, and then they're like, "Yay!"
No, for real. Pet care is expensive.
Super freaking expensive.
Okay, so in my never again list, I do have unfortunately, a good amount of restaurants in there now. Okay, I like to
Oof, yeah.
give second and third chances to restaurants because maybe they were just having a bad day. Mostly if it was one I tried once and like it was good, and then every time after that was not good. Service goes with this. If it's like always bad service, like good food, but people are like never tending to anything I need, I'm like, I'll go get my ketchup. You just tell me where it is.
Okay, so on restaurants, like somebody commented under one of my videos, like, "Oh, like every influencer says this is the best restaurant they've ever gone to." You know, whatever. I'm like, well, first of all, that's a hook. I'm playing the game. But second of all, I'm not gonna give out bad ratings. Like, I just like let it go. Like, I could not imagine getting on the internet and slamming a restaurant, a local business, unless they called me like a fucking slur. Like, I really just don't think there's a situation. I've gone to restaurants where I've like recorded content and then I've just been like, not posting this, not gonna recommend this place. And yeah, I have like the never again restaurants, and there's very few of them, but it just has to do with like there's so many good restaurants. Like, why go to a bad restaurant?
Yeah. And with the along those lines that it's like if I know service might not be so good, I imply within going to eat at a restaurant. Like there's no way I'm gonna go eat at a restaurant and not tip. If
Yeah,
I know I'm already set up for maybe not such a good experience where like damn, like this is gonna be maybe 20, 30 extra dollars. Maybe we just don't go there because tip is always applied. People do not get paid like living
I
wages.
agree, and that's why like I mean it's so crazy because I don't get bad service that often, and I think it's because I don't have that many expectations. Because I think, like, this is a fucking job, you know? Like, I don't think there should be my servant where I feel like they should, like, go I don't know, I don't have a lot of crazy expectations, but people that are actively rude, I'm like, "Damn, she's having a bad day." And that's what I chalk it up to. Because there's no way people are, like, cunty on purpose, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say maybe cunty. I would just say absent. Like if I sit somewhere and like my order wasn't taken in like 20 minutes, my food didn't come
Yeah.
for like a really long time. No one checked up on me. I needed things. Like I'm like, all right, damn.
Honestly, I find that to be that's on the lower bar. Like I honestly I'll accept that. I won't like it, but I'll be like whatever. Like it is what it is. I just had a couple people be very fucking rude. Do you know when people start to be rude? Occasionally, this has happened to me like a handful of times. Is when we don't order drinks or appetizers and we just do entrees and they just get a little fucking rude. And I'm like, I'm sorry the ticket is low, but I'm gonna be in and out of here quickly. Like, please don't be mean to me for this. Like, are you sure? Sure you don't want wine? And I'm like, babes, no, thank you. Sorry. I'll have a Diet Coke. Like, and they're just like, ugh.
And you never know. Sometimes people will come in and literally order takeout and then still leave a tip. So like,
Oh, I always I leave a tip
because
on.
I do that.
I do that too. Well, that's my thing is I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be a bad tipper. I'm gonna give you 20% of this. You're probably gonna get a bigger tip from me than somebody else.
So, you don't know. Old situationships, never again. Once it's out of my system, it's out of my system.
Old situationships. So just the one done, never again.
No, the thing is, I'd go back. Like, there's once I get out of it, I'm out of it. But like, obviously, it took me a few tries, okay, to get
Okay.
it out of my system. But I would say now, maybe, I don't know, you get older and you just start picking up red flags. And instead of them being like, what could be, it's more like a feeling. Like, I'm tired. Like, do I really want to, like, do that? No.
Yeah, never again. I honestly just am like, no, thank you.
That's a lot of work.
You know, sometimes you do have to give up hope that things could be different because like coulda, woulda, shoulda, you know? I might as it could be different or it's most likely going to be the same unless someone has either side has done some work or some situations have changed. I think circumstances can change where like something didn't work at first can work now because circumstances have changed, but if the circumstances are the same and the people are the same, probably going to get a pretty similar result.
Yeah. And ultimately, I feel like a lot of like the situationship thing comes from either a person just really doesn't like you like that and it's kind of leading you on, or they have let you know that they're not in a place for a relationship, that that's not what they want, and somebody lingers. Which, to that, all I have to say is if you think maybe this will turn around for you, it takes like years for people to get into a place where maybe they want something different.
Yes, I agree. Never again will I not listen to a care label, like on clothing.
Oh,
I'm I used to be so bad at that, and you guys, I've ruined so much clothing, and it is not good for like the sustainability aspect. So I listen to a care label regardless. If I'm just like too lazy to do it, I'm not. I'm never too lazy.
yeah, those are important. I actually like my mom was pretty um tough on how you need to do laundry and what goes where. So like I've been careful since the beginning of time, but when I went to college, I got like my whole degree is merchandising, textiles, and design. So you had textile class where they teach you about those labels. Like it's a legal obligation for brands to tell you how to take care of clothing because fabrics just like need different care. Definitely look at those. This is very, very important.
It's just for the longevity of your clothing, and so like, if you want to invest in pieces, the investment only makes sense if you're going to take care of them. And now like it's really interesting because my grandma is like, she's a style icon, like she has a very clear aesthetic and style that's timeless. Babe, she literally has clothing that she's just taken really great care of from the 60s. And I was like, okay, well, if I want to invest in a nice linen shirt, let me not throw it in hot water and dry it so that it shrinks up or whatever. So I was pretty flagrant with ignoring care labels, but never again.
Yeah, you should hand wash a lot of your things. Mostly if they're
Yeah.
spandex or delicate clothing. It sucks that now there's like no space in like backyards or anything like that to have like a little, like in
Hmm.
Mexico, they still do that where you have like
Yeah.
a little area where you can hand wash clothing, as you should. But
What are those
yeah,
called?
I don't know. I don't know. In English, who knows? Like,
No, it's Spanish. Como se dice?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to
Oh my
phone
gosh, I'll
in
have to
my
look it up.
grandma. Yeah.
I've
No.
s-
Mhm.
it's like lava something.
Yeah. I went to a friend's apartment recently in Mexico City, and it was bougie, but it still had an area for that in the kitchen. There was like a little by the laundry. There, right next to it, was
Yeah.
like a hand washing thing. I was
They
like,
have like
wow.
they have the built-in boards, like, and then the water
Yeah.
drains out. I know this because I watch those. Dude, those are like my favorite ASMR videos on TikTok. Are like people traditionally hand washing their clothing. It is so soothing, and it got me into it because I was like, I really should be hand washing my clothing. Like everyone does it. Like I'm ruining my clothes with this machine washing thing. I'm not being a sustainable girly.
Yeah, unfortunate, truly. But the best way to actually take care of your clothes, honestly, is by not washing them that often. So when you get home out of your little worky, get into loungewear and put that right back in your closet where it belongs. Anything nice will stay nice, the less it's.
Very true. Do you have any never agains?
I always struggle with this one that it's like, I think people have the capacity to be friends, but there's a lot of places of like where I see someone who's been a good friend and they're like a good sister, a good whatever, and then just post like really stuff of like bigotry and like hate online.
Hmm.
And I just have to cut ties. I'm not saying you're a bad person, and I'm not saying that you were a bad friend. Like honestly, like I really appreciated your friendship and everything, but like just some things just lack a lot of like bipolarity, And I think a lot of things that have come to like Israel and Palestine specifically, I've just seen a lot of people like post some like really heavy things that I'm like, girl, like there's people dying, like there's children starving, and I just like I've known you for so long, and I just like feel like your heart's a little better than this. So I just like I kind of don't necessarily want to dig into like the nationalism of this because like I want to be respectful of your beliefs. And I know that obviously you have family in Israel. So like I'm not like I had a good friend who lived in Tel Aviv and had recently come back right when they bombed the festival at Tel Aviv.
Hmm.
And the first thing I said when I reached out, I was like, hey, like I really hope your friends are okay. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
of
that,
course.
of course, duh. Like, and yeah, so it's a it's just like a hard place to be where it's like I know you're not like a horrible person, but like some of the shit you're posting is really hurtful.
Dude, I'd be so petty. Like, there was somebody who went to the Morgan Wallen concert, and I was like,
I gotta
unfollow.
I gotta go.
I was like, and I was trying to like normal. I was thinking in my brain, like, in what world would, like, in what type of scenario? Like, I was really trying to be empathetic to their point of view. Like, why would they want to go to that concert? Like, because because the tour is specifically like, I'm the problem is
Yeah.
on all of the merch. And the problem is that he used the N word with the ER on a
Right.
Ring camera. And like, I'm just like, why would you want to give money that's literally someone taking basically zero accountability? And honestly, what I think is probably the opposite of accountability, which is capitalizing off of bad behavior.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna try to fucking sit here and like think about why they did that. Like, if it just doesn't align, unfollow. I don't want to see it.
I
Oh, and
just I mean, this one goes along with like Sydney Sweeney, which I don't even want to give like a lot of attention to like right now. And this is why sometimes capitalism really pisses me off, okay? Because obviously all of these are tactics to like get you to talk about the brand. And there's like an interview where there's like she did something with like a soap brand and they're like, "Oh, like how do you feel about this?" And she's like, "I pitched it." And like obviously as like to get buzz around your brand and things like that because American Eagle's been so dead for years is really getting people to talk about it, which is what is happening regardless of like the tones or the intention behind it. But I just find it really sad that some people are like so out of like touch with what the fuck is going on that they're like, oh yeah, like hee hee ha ha, I know exactly how we can get people to talk about this. And like, it's not that serious. It's not that deep to them. When in reality, like, it is that deep.
yeah, to be a fly on a wall on that marketing campaign planning, no, thank you. People unfollow people all the time for a bunch of stuff. Like, I've gotten more unfollows than I've gotten follows now that I've become a fake influencer. But like, honestly, I love it. Like, please leave. Like, if you're not fucking here for it, I'm literally fine with that. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I always see, like, after I post some shit, I always see numbers up, down, up, down. I honestly don't care.
I don't care either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why shouldn't I unfollow people? Trying not to hurt their feelings. They're probably not even gonna notice.
Yeah, I do a slow fade. I am a slow fade girly just because I do this with everything. Like even if somebody like hurts my feelings or whatever, I don't necessarily want to show it as like this reactive, like you hurt my feelings, I'm gonna unfollow you. I'm just gonna show you that a month after, I still feel the same way, and therefore I'm gonna unfollow you.
I thought about it. I sat on it. Unfollow.
Unfollow.
Okay,
Respectfully.
my last never again is I never again am going to give my opinion unless I know what I'm talking about. I think honestly, people appreciate the candor of being like, I'm not familiar. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I know the quantum physics if I don't. Like, that's something younger me would have been like, I can figure this out using critical thinking. Now I'm like, you know what? I don't always have to be the loudest person in the room and always give my opinion if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Especially if you don't know what the fuck you're about.
Especially if I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Even sometimes when I do know what I'm talking about, I shut the fuck up. But no, I think I'm a lot more. I don't know. It's just like I just don't. I just sometimes I'm like, ugh, I don't even feel like getting into this. Like I feel like I would always talk up and be like, I'm gonna talk about this or I'm gonna disagree. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even care. Like I could just know that they're wrong and just move on with my day.
In overall large conversations, sometimes in corporate America, I just listen. Because if you
Hmm.
are actively listening, you can actually kind of like tell what problems are when you're not thinking of a response
Hmm.
immediately.
Yeah.
And I just saw a lot of like people specifically like because it's low key competitive, like every entry level position, if you're on a team, everyone's like kind of competing against each other to like look good.
Yes.
Personally, I didn't care to be there. So I like I was not doing that. And I could hear a lot of people like reiterating things or like trying to get like their presence in the room
Yeah.
where I'm like, it wasn't necessary. Did that add value? So it's like if I don't have anything to say that's gonna add value, I might just like sit and listen and like reflect on what's being said and see if I can find like gaps or goals into this conversation. But if I'm like not prepared in a meeting or like anything like that, I'm like, you're not gonna catch me trying to bring my 5 cents
I agree, and I let me just say, never again I'm not gonna have my big girl listening ears on.
in.
Okay?
We love big
Big girl
girls.
listening ears are very effective in every facet of your life, right? When you're in a relationship, is he telling you that he's a fuckboy and he will hurt you? Listen, if in a corporate office they're talking about restructuring and it kind of sounds like your job's about to go, maybe listen and start looking for new jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like I think so many times people want to be heard that they forget to listen, and like that's some messaging you need to clue into.
Never again.
Never again, baby. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I have an announcement. We have a fun announcement. We have the Thanks for Your Concern hotline, which will be linked in the description box. But now you can anonymously, super anonymously. This is like a Google form. This is not like a anonymous Instagram question that actually isn't anonymous. This is fully anonymous. You can tell us all the tea, no tea. Put in your questions if you want to get a shout out for plug of the week. Let us know. We have the link below. And as always, like, rate, review, send this to a friend. It helps us out a lot. You can find us on social media. Thanks the number for your concern.
I'm at Berenice DSM.
I'm at LL Tutor. Toodles.
Bye.